What's up guys, this is Attack Gaming and I'm back with another video. Today we are going to talk about Xiao and some of his mechanics as to how to use him. Then we will talk about what is the best build on him and some tricks and what is the best way to build a team around him. So without wasting much of your time, I'll start right away. The first thing I would like to mention is that when you jump with him and use his elemental skill, you can perform an instant plunge attack. Now, even while you are on the ground, he can do a plunge attack because as you can see, I'm using it in a slope and I'm jumping and going upward. So like I'm basically right above the ground and I can still use a plunge attack. Now, this is a really good way to maximize his damage output. The next thing to note is that it doesn't matter from what height you are doing the plunge attack, since Xiao is the only character in game right now who doesn't take any damage from plunge attacks. So the next thing is that you can use his elemental skill mid-air, so it's really good to have while exploring the world, but you can't aim your elemental skill while fighting mobs. It will randomly select one of the mobs nearby and will also damage any mob who is caught in the way. So it can do damage to multiple mobs, but again you can't target it. So if you want to use it against a specific mob, like I'm trying to aim the Abyss Mage, it's really hard to do so. Now one of his passive talents allows him to deal 15% more damage on next consecutive elemental skills, and this buff lasts for 7 seconds and has a maximum of 3 stacks. So at maximum stacks you can do 45% more damage on the next elemental skill, but maintaining these stacks is really hard on a C0 Xiao if you have a C0 Xiao like me, and if you have a C1 Xiao, maintaining these stacks is fairly easier. If you have a look at his damage multipliers, his plunge attacks and the charge attack has really good multiplier and deals a massive amount of damage. His plunge attack is really good if you want to damage multiple units in an AoE. His charge attack is also good if you like spamming charge attacks. As you can see from the clip here, his charge attacks launches enemies front of him to air, and it can be a single enemy or multiple enemies, doesn't matter, it just launches all of them in the air. It has to be small enemies, like it can't launch larger enemies in the air, and it deals a subsequent good amount of damage. As for his normal attacks, like they also have a good area wide effect, so you can deal damage to multiple enemies by just performing your normal basic attacks. Now his next passive talent, while under the effect of his elemental burst, increases his damage by 5%, and every next 3 seconds increases his damage by further 5%, with maximum damage bonus being 25%. So basically his burst lasts for 15 seconds and he'll get the maximum damage bonus for the last 3 seconds. Now if you have a look at his elemental burst, the damage bonus is a lot and it increases his normal attacks, charge attacks, and also his plunge attacks. If you look at his damage taken, it's not a lot and it's not like a flat damage, it's like percentage damage to the current HP, which is not too bad. It starts with 3% current HP and just right now it's 2.5% for me, and it will go to 2% if I level it up more. As for the artifacts, I would suggest go for 2-piece Gladiator and 2-piece Viridescent. It's the most reliable and balanced build for him. And for the main stats of the artifacts, go for attack percent, ANEMO damage bonus, and crit damage bonus. For weapons, obviously the best choice for him is Primordial Jade Spear. It has the highest base attack in game and a good amount of crit rate. Also the passive is really good and maintaining the stacks is not that hard on him. Other good options are the Vortex Vanquisher and the Skyward Spine. Do notice, like for Vortex Vanquisher to work, you need a shield character to utilize the weapon to its maximum potential. Also Skyward Spine is really good because energy recharge just helps him keep his burst up for a longer duration of time. Also Deathmatch, the Battle Pass Spear, is really good for him as it provides the highest amount of crit rate in game. Now for free to play options, Prototype Star Glitter is a really good option because energy recharge will give you more uptime on the burst It won't give you the highest numbers, but more uptime on burst means more damage. The other options are the Black Cliff Pole and the Royal Spear. These are also really good options. I would prefer Black Cliff Pole more over the Royal Spear. Also keep in mind, don't use Crescent Pike and the Dragon Spine Spear, as the physical damage bonus is not good for him. You won't be able to use them. As for energy recharge, I'm running 114% and I'm having a good uptime on his burst. But if you are struggling with the energy and with the energy particles, I would suggest going for 140 to 150% energy recharge. Now, for team builds, I would suggest using Zhongli if you have him, because of the recent buffs that he got. His shield provides minus 20% debuff to all the resistance of enemies, and this buffs Xiao's damage by a good amount. As for battery, I would suggest using Sucrose, as her elemental skill provides a good amount of energy particles, and after C1 she has 2 charges of elemental skill, and with sacrificial fragment you can basically have 3 charges of elemental skill, and along with 2 charges of Xiao's elemental skill you can fill up the elemental burst power for Xiao very quickly. Now the fourth member can be Bennett or any other healer. Bennett is good as he also provides some attack buff for Xiao, which is always good. Now do keep in mind, instead of Sucrose you can use Gene or the ANEMO MC, but Sucrose provides more energy particles, so it's always good to have more energy particles for Xiao. Now you can always replace Zhongli with other passive damage dealers like Fischl, Albedo, Zenshu or Zhangling. This is a good idea as they can deal damage while not being present on the field, and also can provide some energy particles for Xiao to use. Now do keep in mind that Xiao is a selfish carry like Razor or Child is using his elemental skill, so pairing him with another damage dealer like Kaching or Diluc is not a good idea. As for artifacts for supports, using the Archaic Petra and the Viridescent Scent is not a good option, as you can't perform a crystallized reaction using an ANEMO element, and for Viridescent you can't debuff the enemy with ANEMO resistance using this 4 set. Do keep in mind that the 2 set bonus of this artifact is good. Now the best option is to have a Noblesse Oblige support, like a support using 4-piece Noblesse Oblige set, so that you can get 20% bonus attack on Xiao. Another thing to keep in mind is that most of the enemies doesn't have good ANEMO resistance, so having an ANEMO main damage dealer is always a good option. Now he's a really fun character to play and I love playing with him. Do let me know down in the comments what are your thoughts about Xiao, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I would highly appreciate it, guys. Thank you and see you in the next video. Cheers.